Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Zimmerman. And remember, I told you I wanted to share a story with you? I have picked one of my very favorite stories. It's called The Snowy Day. And it's written by Ezra Jack Keats. And maybe you've heard this story before. It's one of my favorites. When I open it up, I see the title page first. Remember how we talked about that? And there's the title again, The Snowy Day. And then I see the name again, Ezra Jack Keats. And he's the only name there. So that lets me know that not only did he write the words, he also drew the pictures. So he is both the author and the illustrator in this story. Remember how we talked about that? All right. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. The word path really sticks out in my mind. I think a path is like you kind of an area that you walk through. Maybe you could talk about that at home with your grown-up about what a path is and how Peter needs it to walk through the snow. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointing out like this. And then he walked with his toes pointing in like that. Have you ever walked in the snow like that before? Have you heard how snow goes crunch, crunch? Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. And he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. I'm wondering, what did he find that might make this track? It was a stick that was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. Down fell the snow, plop, on top of Peter's head. Why did that snow fall on his head? Maybe talk with your grown-up about that. What did he do that caused that snow to fall down on his head? There he goes. Remember, this is where we talked about how you can read the picture. I don't see any words, so I'm just reading the illustration. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So he made a smiling snowman, and then he made snow angels. I'm wondering if you've ever done that in the snow. He pretended that he was a mountain climber, and he climbed all the way up a great, big, tall, heaping mountain of snow. What great words he used. And slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow and another and still another. He packed it. Look at the picture for that. He packed it round and firm, and he put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. And then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And he thought about them. Before he got into bed, he looked into his pocket. His pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there. He felt very sad. When I read this story, I like to think to myself, what happened to the snowball? Talk with your grown-up about what happened to the snowball and why it was gone and how he's surprised. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted away all the snow. But when he woke up, his dream was gone. The snow was still everywhere, and new snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, and they went out together into the deep, deep snow. The end. Thank you for joining me for this story. I really hope maybe we'll get some snow days and maybe you'll be able to play like Peter got to play. I'm going to challenge you that if we do get any snow days this year after you play in it, I would love it if you would write a little bit to me about sentences. Write some sentences about what you did on your snow day. Fingers crossed. Thank you, friends. I'll see you tomorrow.